flatten all the boxes? You got it. Have a great time picking them up one by one. Our local recycling company requires all cardboard boxes to be flattened and broken down for pickup. For the past couple of years, I've saved one larger box to put all the flattened ones into. It's easier for me since I can do all the work in a lit garage at night and carry it out to the curb. And it's easier for the pickup guy since and it's always he, can pick up a single box and fling it into the truck. A couple of weeks ago, something changed. I guess maybe they got a new recycling guy since the pickup happened much earlier in the day than before. Anyhow, I came home to find that my neatly packed box hadn't been picked up and a note left instead that I had to flatten all the boxes. Yup. You got it. Last week I got to watch in glee as the guy bent over and picked up each flattened box one by one. I use a larger flattened box to contain the smaller ones. It is still broken down, but it works like an envelope. It keeps the rest together. If I have the right sizes, I can do a second around the first at 90 degrees. I had that on LA where they wouldn't pick up the boxes unless they were tied into a bundle with twine. No other type of string allowed. Same with newspapers. So I stopped putting them out, tossed their recycling bucket into their trash container, and stacked cans, bottles, cardboard and newspapers in the back. Once a month I'd take all of that to the local recycling business and get enough for a nice breakfast. They want me to do their work. I will get paid for it. Hope it's the same guy that left the note. Someone filling in might not like the regular guy and left that note on everyone's box for flattened boxes, and now old mate is back at work and his back is all messed up. Does this remind anyone else of that Malcolm in the Middle episode, where he gets in trouble for not flattening the boxes in the box flattening area at his drug store job with his mom? Do you lay all the boxes out adjacent to each other or do you stack them? Just sit out there when they're picking up, sip your coffee, tea, and just watch. I do the same thing. Flatten all the boxes and stack them in a bigger box to put on the curb. I figured it was easier for everyone. A bunch of random-sized boxes are not the easiest to carry around. They'll take them most of the time. But every once in a while the pile sits for a few weeks, growing larger each time, until they finally cave and take them. They aren't the best company. They don't give us big recycle bins. We only get the small bins that most places use for glass. So the majority of my neighbors have bought their own trash can to use for recycling. But the company is super picky about what they'll take, and if they see even one forbidden item in the bin, they just leave it all. So shipping boxes are basically the only thing I try to recycle now. Zero sorting or recycling here. You get one wheelie bin and everything gets thrown in. Then they send it all to get burned and it somehow spins a turbine or something to produce enough power to keep on burning more trash. But it's supposed to be a clean burn, so it releases very few emissions. Who knows? Sounds kinda made up, but we don't sort shit here and that's nice. I did the recycling job for a while. We sorted the stuff on the move. We were only supposed to take flattened cardboard. But I couldn't name one person who I worked with who would have a problem with the additional box to hold them all. We were glad on that, 'cause there's nothing more infuriating than chasing a flattened lasagna box down the road. Then try picking it up with the gloves on, you've got no chance. Oh, and if we leave it then jumped up, nobody's complaining we were leaving the place in a mess. Let's ignore the 30 miles per hour winds, Karen? I want to say go petty by putting all the smallest, flattest boxes on the bottom of the pile. Maybe even let a couple get rained on 'cause they don't like to move when they are sodden. Or if you don't want the mess, buy yourself a nice sturdy box bin for the cardboard and let them take it out of that. Personally, I'd go for option 1 simply 'cause the guy sounds like a dick. This happened to us. My son has the chore of recycling. Broke down all the boxes in a similar way. Stacked up nicely. Didn't take them. We called and had them make a return trip for missed recycling. And my son flattened the container box. Placed all other boxes on top of it. And then wrote, "Don't be a bitch," on the top one. Stupid as stupid does. I can just imagine them finding a way to complain about your following of their rules. I bet you collapsed his will to live for a few minutes at least. Honestly, this is exactly the same thing I'd do when working at a gas station years ago where the city required boxes flattened. I flattened all except the massive one that would hold our styrofoam soda cups, which I would put all the other boxes into all neat and nice, so all they had to do was dump that one big box. People are stupid. This seems so old-fashioned. I didn't know they still had people picking up the recycling by hand still. We have the trucks that have the metal arms. Just grab the bin and shake it into the truck. Are you in Maryland, lol? Our recycle guy told us the same thing. So not only did I break the container box down, I cut them all into smaller pieces. Took him forever to pick that mess up. Jesus. I break down so many boxes a week. Mad props to the business next door that we have a good relationship with. I dump all my cardboard in their cardboard dumpster. We used to have a recycling bin for cardboard, but we needed that room for yet another dumpster. I will say we are a very large operation and we donate a ton to our local homeless shelters. There are certain food laws that prevent us from donating everything. Again, very large operation and a metric ton of food waste every day. I compost at home. Really tried and am still trying to get us to use the local compost truck, but it would seem there is too much food and not enough grass that goes into that mess of a pile somewhere up north. Ideally, it's something like 60% lawn, 40% kitchen if you keep turning it. We have a ridiculous mixture. A black wheelie bin for non-recyclable waste. An optional green wheelie bin. Extra cost. For garden waste. A small crate for mixed recycling. A small brown caddy for compostable food waste and a blue nylon bag for flattened card. It's tough to keep it all neat just because they're all different sizes and shapes. Also, they collect the black bin and green bin alternate weeks. The rest every week. The recycling stuff is all collected by the same crew who put it all into different compartments on their truck and sort the mixed recycling crate at the truck. Every so often they change the waste processor and the definitions of what you can and can't recycle changes. WTF? Even when I worked in a grocery store, I always used a larger box to contain the broken down boxes. And that rule had been handed down over generations to me. Toss a few large boxes full of cardboard into the cardboard baler versus spending 5 minutes throwing a few hundred boxes, flats in. It saves a shitload of time. I still got shit from coworkers for doing it that way. But I could walk up to the baler, chuck 4 or 5 boxes into it over roughly 30 seconds, hit start, and walk off, versus them walking up and spending a solid 10 minutes emptying their carts into the baler. Those who don't work in anything involving boxes, a cardboard baler makes a giant bale out of cardboard, usually 500 to 1,000 pounds. It fits, at least width-wise, on a pallet. so you can send it out on a truck for recycling easily. Grocery stores normally take them back to their distribution centers. It's basically a compactor specifically for cardboard. Sure, it added a little time to the time I spent stocking, facing, cleaning up my aisles. But in the end, I wound up jumping over to other aisles to help coworkers. Because, surprise, I was done with my crap.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.